It's the Cool Kids Club. You've been invited to the Cool Kids Club. It's so exciting, yeah. Justin likes monsters, yeah. And Amy likes words in the Cool Kids Club. Cool Kids Club.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Cool Kids Club. My name is Amy, and I am one of your hosts today.
And I would be the other host, I suppose.
Yeah, there's two hosts on this show.
Two
hosts?
Two hosts? I'm Justin, other host. And this is episode 31 of the Cool Kids Club podcast.
31.
Amy, how you doing?
Oh, I'm okay. It's the last day of a long holiday weekend for us, so I am.
It is.
Thankful for the extra time off, but also starting to get a bit of the. It's the Monday scaries today.
Yeah, it is. It is the Monday
going back
scaries.
to work, kind of. That starts to creep in. But other than that, I'm doing good. How about you?
Oh, about the same. Hope everyone had a good holiday weekend and
yes.
A safe holiday weekend.
Yes.
And we're back at it like a crack addict today, as they say.
Oh, okay.
Out
here with the puns. All right.
With the topic that I know is near and dear to your heart. What do we got on the nostalgenda today?
Oh my God! Listen to this. Your brain is firing on all cylinders, and mine is not.
Yeah, I'm in that podcasting sweet spot where I
really are
come up with words like nostalgenda. So what's on the nostalgenda for today?
We usually don't get into that until after the 40-minute mark.
Until we get into the deep water.
Yeah,
the deepest
you're
water.
Just coming right out the gate with it.
Yeah.
Well, on the nostalgenda today, we're talking about a show that was very formative for Justin and I both, and that is Tiny Toon Adventures.
We're tiny, we're toony, we're all a little loony, and in this cartoony we're invading your TV. We're comic dispensers, we crack up all the censors. On Tiny Toon Adventures get a dose of comedy. So here's Acme Acres, it's a whole wide world apart. Our home sweet home stands alone, a cartoon work of art. Scripts were rejected, expect the unexpected. On Tiny Toon Adventures, it's about to start. They're furry, they're funny, they're Baz and Buster Bunny. Montana Max has money, Elmira is a pain. He's hunting and plucky, Dizzy Devil yucky. Furballs are yucky, and Go-Go is insane. At Acme University, we earn our Toon degree. The teaching staff been getting laughs since 1933. We're tiny, we're toony, we're all a little loony. It's Tiny Toon Adventures, come and join the fun. And now our song is done.
Oh, yes.
Man.
I am super excited. Tiny Toon Adventures came around at I remember it just
the perfect time.
The perfect time. Yes.
Yeah.
And it came and then it went, and because as we will see,
yeah,
it wasn't around for that long. Like
it wasn't
2 years, 3 years.
And this has become a phenomenon kind of on the show of these things that we feel like were so important, and a lot of them were so important, but were
right
2-3 years of a time span. We are not.
They take up such
Pogs,
a big
not
part
even that
of,
long, but
yeah, they hold such a high pedestal in my in my memory. And
right.
And then it turns out,
surely that was on my whole childhood.
Surely that was happening for years and years, right?
Yeah.
No.
It's like I remember we're going back and first thinking about I think it may have been Eureka's Castle and being Salute Your Shorts. There's 25 episodes.
Oh,
and you're like,
yes, absolutely.
What?
Surely not.
There
I
were
watched
6
that for
seasons
years
of that.
and years. Which, granted, they did rerun just the same episodes over and over and over.
Right. And I guess you don't really realize that as much as a kid, but
no, probably not. But
yeah.
No. Your point still stands. How are there only that few episodes of Salute Your Shorts is a perfect example.
That's crazy. And this is kind of a similar instance as we will get into as we talk about the stats of the show. Justin, what are your what do you think of when you think of Tiny Toon Adventures? What does that bring forth for you?
So I was and still am a very big fan of baby versions of things. And didn't we discuss this? I feel we discussed
I don't remember
it on
what
the
episode.
podcast recently. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But
no, we did.
But I love a good baby version of some kind of established character And there were a lot of them.
There were a lot of them. In fact, another contender for what this topic was going to be today was maybe our other favorite baby versions of things, which is Muppet Babies.
Well, absolutely. I mean...
And there will absolutely be a Muppet Babies episode at some point. But today we're talking about Tiny Toon Adventures. And a couple things I want to point out. Tiny Toon... I'm going to just call it Tiny Toons for short a lot of the time, I'm sure.
OTT?
OTT.
OTT.
So Tiny Toons was one of the topics that we had recently when we did our 1-year anniversary March Radness.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Tournament that Justin spearheaded for our social media, and Tiny Toons was one of the 8 topics, and I do think it made it pretty far, didn't it?
I don't recall off the top of my head if it did or not, but we're doing it anyway, so...
We are doing it anyway,
I don't care, yeah.
Yeah, it was one of our top topics, and so we did decide to do that today, but it was down to that and Muppet Babies. So, equally catchy theme songs, I will say.
Oh, very catchy theme songs. Yeah. No, Tiny Toons, or Tiny Toon Adventures, OTT.
OTT, yeah.
It reminds me so much of like a very specific time of day. Honestly, kind of the time of day it is right now when as we're recording this. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a Monday.
Syndication time.
It's syndication time.
Yeah.
And Tiny Toon Adventures makes me think of this time of day before dinner.
Like you can hear your mom making dinner in the kitchen, but you're in the living room watching Tiny Toons.
Right, exactly.
And like all the best toy commercials come on during Tiny Toons.
Oh, yes.
You know, it's just that kind of, I'm having a flashback, if you will.
A sense of memory.
Yes, of us in our living room in our Florida house. Just like listening to Mom making dinner. And just like, she knew we were good because we were watching Tiny Toons.
Yeah.
And something that's interesting, and we'll get into it when we talk more about the exact characters, is that while we are saying tiny versions of things, technically, these are different characters.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah. They're not,
but
there's a discussion about what they would be exactly.
Yeah.
Are they going to be offspring? Are they going to be younger versions of...
Right. Is this like a prequel?
Established characters?
Yeah.
Is this a prequel? Yeah.
And I do just want to say, obviously Looney Tunes as a
franchise.
Thank you. Looney Tunes as a franchise had been around for decades. When Tiny Toons came around. And as we talk about the development here in a minute, we'll talk about how it was sort of like trying to maybe reach a broader audience or a newer audience with Tiny Toons. But I just got to say, I feel like was there anything bigger in the 90s than Looney Tunes in general? I mean, between this and Space Jam, like...
I mean...
The two...
there were things everywhere. Bigger than that, but it was certainly... I mean, they were on fire. Warner Brothers in general, I feel like, had some great years,
crushing it in the 90s.
And we, even though a lot of those cartoons came out, the original Looney Tunes and Merry Melody, cartoons came out, decades before we were born. Sometimes decades before our parents were born. We still grew up with... Our parents grew up with those, and we grew up with those. Those were always in play on Nickelodeon and the Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like I don't know. I don't really keep up with children's television these days, but I don't feel like the Looney Tunes are out there. Like I don't feel
the
last
like
generation, maybe like Gen Z and like the current, like the really young kids,
right,
are really growing up with Looney Tunes. Like, is that still a thing out there? Like,
I don't think. Maybe some older Gen Z.
You think it's the violence
of Looney Tunes?
Yes.
Do you think they don't? Yeah,
I'm asking you. Do you think it's the violence?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That we have a lot less. I don't know. Again, I'm not watching a ton of children's car. I'm sure there's the same kind of like.
Well, if you're a parent listening
really
to this,
ridiculous violence.
And either you or you have a kid, who knows? let us know, because I don't know.
Yeah. And I also think part of that, Justin, is there's so much more content out there. So many more children's cartoons that your kids are watching.
Right.
And I mean, in the 90s, of course, there were a ton, but Looney Tunes was still kind of like holding strong. And nowadays, there's just so many different things.
Yeah.
That I think, the tunes.
Gosh, but not back then, though.
No, not in the golden years of like 1990 to 93.
Oh, even a few years before that, when they were showing like on early Nickelodeon, early for us, in the like very late 80s, showing Looney Tunes in the evenings. Also, I remember Looney Tunes coming on like before the Nicktoons.
Yeah,
even as far up into the 90s as then. So. I mean, Looney Tunes were always around. And then, of course, Space Jam is its own conversation.
They truly were everywhere.
And now you usually have to go to, like, flea markets or, like, the Family Dollar if you want to find people in Tweety Bird t-shirts.
Right. That say, like, really sassy things on them.
Yeah.
Tweety Bird, very sassy.
Wait, has Tweety Bird been replaced by the Minions as, like, the sassy
classic,
Facebook... Like middle-aged person, like boomer memes.
Yes. Oh. Yes, you've cracked it.
I did right there, like
cracked it open
in real time. I cracked it.
Y'all, you just heard it happen.
We haven't even started talking about the fucking.
You're exactly right. We're 14 minutes in. Let's start talking, Justin. About tell us about how Tiny Toon Adventures like came to be. We've talked about what the climate was like for the tunes here in the late 80s.
Right.
It was hot. It was hot. I'll tell you what, it was hot. But how did the show become a thing?
I kind of laughed when I did the research for this, because I was like, this is just a story of a bunch of like important people saying I want to do a thing, and then they did it. Like, like
because they had
they're
the clout and
they're powerful people, and that's what they do. So. And I was like, oh, there's not much to this story.
No. Just no overcoming odds. No.
No, there's no real drama to it at all.
I am rich and white and powerful, and I would like to make this thing, and I'm awfully glad they did.
Yeah. The president of Warner Brothers at the time, Terry Semel, basically he had this. He thought that the Looney Tunes were kind of stagnant.
Okay.
Right. So, they were running on Nickelodeon and all that, but I mean, this was like it was kind of your parents.
I mean, it wasn't the heyday for the Looney Tunes.
It wasn't yet the heyday for the Tunes. And basically wanted to inject new life into some of these classic characters, and this is where there were a couple of ideas. He wanted a younger version, essentially. He envisioned taking the cast of Looney Tunes and making younger versions of all of them.
Because that was really hot at the time, right?
It was. So we already mentioned Muppet Babies, of course, which is the gold standard, I'd say, along with Tiny Toon.
You knew it was going to happen. Muppet. Oh, yeah.
That's not even the fucking show we're talking about. So you have Muppet Babies. You have a pup named Scooby-Doo.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So you got Baby Scooby-Doo. You got the Flintstone kids and Tom and Jerry kids.
I remember the Flintstone kids particularly. I liked that.
Really? I remember, like, was it like maybe Tween Bam Bam? And it was like it was like Bam Bam and Pebbles, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But they were like, Nickelodeon aged.
Oh my God.
Kind of like 10 years old instead of being like
it's weird
babies.
Yeah.
Love it. I remember that. So Steven Spielberg, you may have heard of him.
You may, he stops on this Always Sunny podcast a lot, actually.
He does. He made a couple. He made a couple movies.
Just back in the day. He's not done a lot. Recently.
Nothing of note. No, I joke. No, I won't say nothing.
I kid.
No, I mean, Steven Spielberg needs no introduction. One of the greatest to ever do it. We all know who he is. And he had shown interest in working on something related to Looney Tunes, but his thing was he didn't want to do he wanted to do all new characters.
Right. Right.
Like basically create his own characters in the Looney Tunes world. The Looney Tuneverse.
The Looniverse?
The Looney Tuneverse?
The Looney Tuneverse.
The Luna Tuna.
I'm so glad that our listeners get to hear us work out what ridiculous.
It's the creative process.
Yeah, and
you're hearing it live. You're hearing it live.
You're hearing it happen. And you know what? Not always great. Not always.
Hey, look, not everything's gonna work. Okay.
Not everything is gonna stick. But that's what Justin and I do. We just keep spitballing until something works. That's very.
Yeah, it's always been my policy. Just keep talking until something hits.
Just keep talking until something's funny. Yeah.
Keep talking until something's funny. Statistically, you have to hit on something funny eventually.
The tagline of our podcast.
Keep talking until something's funny. I like that.
Yeah.
So Steven Spielberg.
He didn't want to do the old standbys, but he did want to.
He wanted to do something.
Do something in the Tooniverse.
Yeah. So essentially, Warner Brothers Animation Studios get the two together and is like, hey, the president of Warner Brothers wants to do a young Looney Tunes thing. Steven Spielberg, you want to do a Looney Tunes thing that's not the old characters. You two should get together and we'll do a Looney Tunes thing.
Yeah, because why not?
And thus, Tiny Toons. That's
it.
That's the drama of the creation of Tiny Toons.
Yeah, not a lot. We've talked about a lot more drama in development and things like that.
Not one that got stuck in development hell, just one that was like, I've got an idea, you like this idea, let's do the idea.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, so basically the two parties got together, they kind of hashed out the details, and it was agreed that these new characters would be similar to the classic Looney Tunes. Like they would often have a counterpart.
Yes.
To the classic Looney Tunes, but there'd be no direct relation. They wouldn't be like
they weren't their kids.
They weren't younger versions of them.
They weren't related to them in any way.
Right. It was just
I think the setup they did is very interesting.
Do you?
Yeah, that they create like a school where they're like the faculty, and you like never see them really.
The classic Looney Tunes characters.
Yes, the classic Looney Tunes characters.
Your Bugs and your Daffy. Yeah, they are.
Sure.
We'll get into the story here in a minute, but the classic Warner Brothers characters are the faculty at the school that they are. All the kids are going
your Daffies, your Elmers.
Your Bugs, your Daffies, your Elmer's Fudd and whatnot.
Exactly.
So
when did this come about then?
Well,
this was all happening in like the late 80s.
This is happening in like 87 and 88.
It's a good year.
And originally the two parties came together and they kind of agreed on how they were going to do it. But the original idea was they were going to do a theatrical full-length movie.
Yes.
That it was going to be like a Roger Rabbit type of thing, like about a new generation of tunes.
Yeah.
Which also sounds great. And for some reason, and the reason I could come up with was they wanted to reach a broader audience. They just decided to make a TV show out of it. Huh. So, okay.
Yeah.
That works too.
Did Roger, this may be a stupid question, I've actually never seen Roger Rabbit. Was that like, did that do well commercially or not?
Are you asking me if Roger Rabbit did well commercially?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that was a huge hit, yeah.
Okay. See, I don't remember, and I never have seen it, so, yeah.
Oh, God. The horror.
I was going to say maybe if it didn't do well, they would have, that maybe that's
why. No, Roger Rabbit was certainly a big success. But Roger Rabbit's different. Roger Rabbit also had it was a mix of live action and animation.
And Jessica Rabbit and her giant titties, so.
You said it, not me.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm sure that was part of the success.
But I was thinking
it. So then in January 1989, you get a producer.
Tom Ruegger.
Tom Ruegger
is brought on, and he basically works with writer Wayne Katz and Steven Spielberg.
Yep.
That guy.
Yeah.
On developing the characters, and they develop the town. What is the basic? Tell us about the setting and the kind of world that they create here.
Yeah. So they create this town called Acme Acres, and in Acme Acres, they go to Acme University.
There's just so many puns. It's a really puntastic show.
It is. And there's a lot of different locations within Acme Acres, and all of our different characters, come from different parts of it, things like that. We do have human characters and animal characters. It is all animated, of course, though. So in April of 1989, they'd hired their voice actors, they got things ready, and full production began. And the show debuted in September of 1990.
The perfect time.
The perfect time.
Right,
exactly.
like I can't think of a more perfect time in the world.
Nope.
Than fall of 1990. Can you imagine?
Oof.
Oh, boy.
I just want to go back.
The rest of the episode's just us going to be groaning and moaning.
I bet people who were like, 20 or older in 1990 are like, that was not a great time. But I'm like, listen, I was 3 and my life was wonderful. So,
no, it was great. I don't care what
Tiny Toon Adventures was debuting.
That's
and
right.
I didn't have a care in the world. So
That's right.
Fall of 1990 was great.
So we've got Acme University, which is where all the kids go to school, right?
Yes.
And like we said earlier, we've got all the classic Looney Tunes. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I said that like a surfer dude. Not really sure.
The classic Looney Tunes.
The classic Looney Tunes.
Just the classics, dude.
That's the Dave's Waves voice.
It is the Dave's Waves.
Shout out to Scott, who is not listening to this.
He told me after the Weird Al episode, he goes, this is my husband we're talking about. He goes, I'm going to start listening to the podcast. And I just went, no, you aren't. He was like, that's nice. I'm going to try. I was like, okay, whatever. So you have your classic, your Bugs, your Daffies, your what have yous.
Your Bugs, your Daffies,
Porky.
Your Porkies.
Your Porky's Pig.
Your Porky's Pig, your Coyote-y, Wiley.
So they're like supposed to be the faculty at this school. And if I'm correct, you don't ever see them, right?
No, you see them.
Do you? Okay, I can't remember if you do see them or not. But they're not the main.
Why would you not see them? They're not the parents in Peanuts.
Well, I don't know.
What's the point of not seeing them?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Because I just thought you did it. You also don't see whoever's taking care of the Muppet babies.
The nanny.
The nanny, right? I was gonna say.
Yeah.
You don't see nanny either.
She just got them socks.
She's just feet.
Just feet.
Just them feet. Well,
I always figured it was kind of like a robot situation, like how the claw on Inspector Gadget, they turn the chair around and it's like a person. I figured nanny was kind of like that.
Okay, just feet.
Yeah, but sentient,
Yeah, just sentient feet.
Self-aware.
Yeah, that makes me very concerned with who is really caring for those babies. I don't think a pair of feet could.
Look, I think they grew up just fine. So, why don't you tell us about these new characters that old Steve Spielberg and his Hollywood buddies created, based on the classic Toons characters.
Mm-hmm. So you had kind of your Bugs protege, which was one of 2 main characters named Buster Bunny. Yep. He was obviously the male lead, and he was blue. He was blue. And
wore a red shirt. Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Yep. Had like white ears. White. He was blue and white.
Yep.
And he's he's definitely a nicer character than like Bart Simpson, but he also kind of has that he gets away with a lot of stuff.
He's a rapscallion.
He's a rapscallion, but he's not much nicer than Bart, I will say. But sort of that same similar, kind of how you, a little bit of a smart ass, but in a charming way. Mm-hmm. I feel like he does a lot of talking to the camera, narration, kind of like
he's the Zach Morris of
yes.
He is to Tiny Toons as Zach Morris is to Saved by the Bell.
Though
Zach Morris is a piece of shit.
Correct.
Whereas
Buster is
not.
much better.
He's a rap scallion, but he's not malicious like Zach.
And he is best friends with Babs, who is our female lead, and she is pink. And just the cutest thing. I think, what is she wearing? Like a yellow shirt, and she's got a purple bow in her hair. I literally
How do I not have a picture of this cast pulled up here? Tiny, we're toony, we're all a little loony. You're gonna listen to me while I Google Tiny Toons.
I turned to my right because I have a bunch of Tiny Toons toys displayed in my living room at all times.
Of course. Why would you not?
Why wouldn't I? I have some of the wacky rollers or whatever they're called, which we'll talk about in a little bit, up on a shelf. And so I just had to look and be like, I knew she's got purple on her. It's a bow in her hair. She's got a purple bow in her hair.
Well, she's got bows in both on both ears.
On both ears.
And she wears yellow and a little skirt. That's Babs.
And she is Buster's best friend, of course. There's also like a little bit of a romance.
Later on, they're a little flirty.
A flirty. But there weren't any female classic Looney Tunes characters, really. I mean, not any of the heavy hitters. And so it was kind of, you've got like Buster's mentor is Bugs, and then like Plucky is Daffy, and we'll get into that. But like Babs didn't really have one.
You had Witch Hazel. That's one.
Kind of. So she, part of her like character, her story is like trying to find a female mentor at the school. And she does eventually find one named Honey, which was kind of like a forgotten character from some of the older cartoons. Yeah. But she's similar to Buster, but she's much like kind of wilder and louder. She's great at like doing impressions. She's kind of almost like Robin Williams-y with her impressions.
Oh, she is very Robin Williams-y.
Yeah.
She's always doing a bit.
Yes, she is always like, she'd be exhausting to be friends with.
Well, because we all have known those people. They are exhausting to be around.
They are exhausting. Yes. But she's
never
like very
turns
energetic. Off. No, yeah, just dial it down.
Just a couple notches, Babs.
Just take a break every now and then. So Buster and Babs are your main characters, and now despite the fact that both of their names are Bunny, they are of no relation to Bugs or each other. Just want to point that out, as we do have a bit of a flirtation later on with these characters.
So is their last name what kind of animal they are? I guess you got Daffy, duck.
Yeah.
Porky, pig. Tweety, bird.
So you'd be like,
I'm stumbling onto this in real time.
So many things are happening in real time.
Oh, man.
Man, oh, man.
I keep blowing my own mind.
Who else do we have outside of Buster and Babs?
Oh, we got Plucky Duck. Now, Plucky was always kind of my boy. I liked Plucky.
Really? He's annoying.
Oh, you're annoying. Plucky was what he was. Hyperactive and selfish. Love it. Always trying to outshine Buster.
He was.
I love a good second fiddle. I really do. Like, when I was a kid, it was like, there were points when I was like, I like Robin more than Batman. Now, that's probably stupid, but when I was a kid, I was like, I like the second fiddle.
I mean, I did like Chris O'Donnell in that one movie.
Well, okay.
But for different reasons.
You have that he's annoying in here, and I'll give you that. He is annoying, but I love him. He's a green duck. He is...
Yeah.
He does... Now, he talks like Daffy. Does he not talk like Daffy with the lisp?
He talks like Daffy.
I
believe so.
Yeah, and he's Winnie the Pooh in it with a white tank top and no pants.
Yeah, no pants. Yeah.
I mean, it's basically me walking around the house
and
on Memorial Day weekend.
And any weekend.
On any weekend.
Frankly, any evening. Just when I get home from work,
most
pants are coming
time.
out.
Most
times. Yeah, if I'm not around others, I'm Plucky Ducking it.
We've also got Hampton Pig, who is...
now, that's Plucky's best friend.
It's Plucky's best friend. He's a bit of a rube.
He's very naive.
He's good-natured. He's gullible.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy, but that he gets taken advantage of because it's a
by
cruel,
Plucky.
it's a cruel world out there, and
he just can't imagine why anyone would just be mean to anyone, and so Plucky is always. I think Plucky only keeps him around because he'll do anything he says and take advantage of him.
He's a dweeb. He's spineless.
Yeah, he's very anxious. He's like a little ball of anxiety.
Oh, that poor pig.
He doesn't have great self-esteem. He's just a real Eeyore, you know?
He is the Eeyore of the group.
Yeah, he is the Eeyore of the group.
However, he does wear pants because doesn't he wear overalls most of the time?
Wear overalls, or does he have like a...
he wears overalls, I think.
I thought he had like a little suit jacket on. Why do I think he has a suit jacket on?
Why would he have a suit jacket on? What show are you thinking about? He's a pig, presumably from a farm. He's wearing overalls.
I think is he wearing overalls? I'm looking at something. He's wearing a t-shirt and jeans.
Look, I'm a t-shirt and jeans.
Oh, well, it's... I'm looking at this. I just found
every picture I could find on Google. He's wearing overalls.
Okay. Well, the one that I am looking at right now is a vintage crew neck sweatshirt in which they are all sitting on a classic car, and he's wearing a t-shirt and jeans.
Well, okay, I think that's a gimmick. I think that's
you're
like a
right.
little gimmick shirt.
Also, it's only $135. So.
Oh, well, okay. I could do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
So, yeah, Hampton, he's kind of...
yeah.
We also have a couple human characters. Tell us about the two main human characters.
Yes.
Both of whom are kind of the regular antagonists of the show.
Yeah, kind of the villains, if you will. If you have the gender-swapped Elmira Duff, which I, in researching this episode, realized that it's Duff because that is how you'd say Fudd backwards. Because she is obviously the Elmer Fudd, but whereas Elmer Fudd literally wanted to hunt, he wanted rabbits.
He wanted to murder animals.
He wanted to murder animals. Elmira doesn't mean to. She is so obsessed with animals and thinks they're so cute and fuzzy and just wants to snuggle them and hug them and love them, and accidentally sometimes hurts them because she is so obsessed.
Well, and it sounds like she has an innate blood rage.
Yes.
That kind of fuels her at all times.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Now maybe Fudd was, he was more outward with it. He's like, I wanna, I'm here to kill.
Yeah, and and he had a gun.
I'm here for
he
rabbits.
He literally had a gun.
I'm here for
Elmira's
rabbits.
just a kid. So.
And I think she's trying to be a good person, but she knows deep down inside what she is.
Yeah.
And she also has the hunger. She wants to kill. She wants to kill.
Well,
so that's Elmira.
You know what I think is interesting is she is supposedly a student, but also the nurse at this school. They couldn't find a nurse.
I call bullshit on that.
One of the kids is the school nurse.
I'm sorry,
she doesn't even have her LPN.
Oh, how could she? How could she?
She can't. There's no way.
Legally.
She doesn't even have a CNA. I don't even think she's taken an 8-week course.
No.
There's no way.
Doubtful.
She's still learning the basics.
So Montana Max.
Oh, what a little shit.
He's a little bastard. He is a spoiled rich kid who attends Acme University. He's your classic bad guy. He's a bully. He's a cheat. His main goal in life is he hates Buster. He's his arch enemy. This is the Lex Luthor to Buster's Superman.
Yeah.
The Joker to his Batman.
Buster always comes out on top and is genuinely, or I should say generally, like a good character, a good guy, a good friend. And he's popular, and he's the main character.
Well, he's certainly better than this piece of shit.
You're exactly right. And so he's very jealous.
And he's super insecure, as we see, because he doesn't think anyone likes him, which he is correct about.
I mean, when you're an
asshole. Because of his own doing. Here's another thing. He also owns, it's shown throughout the series, that he has several factories making different things that are causing all sorts of pollution.
Why does he own so many factories?
Well, they occasionally had like a serious message veiled under all the jokes, like an environmental type message. So you had, I don't know, do you recall Plucky? His superhero alter ego, the Toxic Revenger?
Oh my God, I do.
Yeah. That was his whole thing, is he would fight
Environmentalism, very hot in the early 90s, as we remember from our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show stuff.
Reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a ton of characters.
Oh, there are. Those are the main ones.
But you also had Fifi LaFume. She was the this skunk, the gender swap.
Oh, she was the skunk.
Pepe Le Pew.
Pepe Le Pew.
Sweetie Bird, obviously. Tweety Bird.
Much nicer, I feel like, than Tweety. Less sassy.
Tweety. Dizzy Devil, who, much like the Tasmanian Devil, is kind of a one-note character.
Yeah, he just kind of just spins into the room.
I mean, let's be honest, Tasmanian Devil kind of sucks, but he did have quite the heyday in like the 90s and 2000s, showing up on like floor mats and mud flaps on trucks.
I mean, people really identified with him.
Yeah, they were like
I don't know how to express emotion. I'm just gonna spin into the room in just a tizzy.
I'm gonna rage spin.
Yeah, and people really spoke to people.
Yeah,
who own big trucks, apparently.
And we've got Furball, who's a kitty cat, a big blue
that's
kitty
like
cat.
A Sylvester type of situation.
We've got Shirley MacLaine. She's a Shirley MacLaine kind of parody.
New
Ager.
Go Dodo.
Calamity.
Go Dodo. Go Dodo.
Well,
I have a Go Dodo toy right on my wall right now.
You got the Go Dodo?
That's very fun to say.
Yes, it is. Calamity Coyote and Little Beeper. You can guess who they are supposed to be. Also, kind of one note.
Yeah, a lot of beeping.
Yeah,
mostly.
Yeah. So tell us about you had the show ran. So the show ran from 1990. Like we said, it ran for 3 seasons for a total of 98 episodes, and the episodes were mostly divided into segments, like you would have with old Looney Tunes. You'd have a couple of different
where it was
segments.
Like a 10, 12 minute, or something. Yeah.
And it was a huge success. It always had like really high ratings, and so of course with anything like that comes merch and toys and all kinds of stuff. So tell us about some of the and you, like you've said, you have some toys sitting in your living room.
I do have some toys. So yeah, obviously, like Justin said, this was a big success, and so of course Warner Brothers is gonna, use that opportunity to make merch. So there were tons of things. I mean, there were a lot of plushes and toys, dolls, things like that, that were mostly made by Play School. You had puzzles, you had bedding, you had lunch boxes, of course, clothing, you got your sweatshirts, you've got watches, trading cards, stickers. Remember Tiny Toon Adventures cereal? Sorry.
No, I do not.
You don't remember Tiny Toon? Google a picture of that right now. We'll wait. Yeah, they had the cereal. I mean, there were a lot of things. I mean, it wasn't quite Goosebumps level of merchandise. I mean, I don't think they had like
few things were
light cover, light switch covers. That will always that's crazy. They had several like storybooks, like little golden books. And actually, in looking at the stuff, there's one, and it's called Rock and Roar. And if you'll look it up, we definitely had it. And it is Buster and Babs with a yellow dinosaur on the cover. And Buster's playing a guitar. Babs has a microphone. And we definitely had that book.
Yep.
Yep. So Little Golden Books did several. They actually put out Tiny Toon Adventures magazine in October
for all
of
the latest
1990.
Tiny Toons news.
Yes. Tiny Toons. Tiny Toon is no.
It was a valiant effort. But
it's not there though. No. So that started, just right basically when the show started. And it was a quarterly children's magazine based on the series. I know DC Comics was involved in making some of those issues. And that ran for almost 2 years, up until spring of 92. You did have an actual comic book series that ran alongside of those like little books. And you had you had Happy Meal toys specifically, which are some of the ones that I have on my walls right now. You had a couple different runs of Happy Meal toys. The first one in 1991, which was those flip cars.
There's something wacky at McDonald's.
Big Mac.
The Tiny Toon Adventures game.
It's Babs and Buster Bunny. And Persian.
Fries.
Ooh, bunny.
A Diet Coke and
100 Happy Meals.
100 Happy Meals.
When's lunch?
I mean, one Happy Meal.
Now buy your kid a Happy Meal at McDonald's and get a Tiny Toon flip car. 2 cars in one, a different one each week. Collect all 4, get all 8.
100 Happy Meals, sir.
Now what?
Better pop the trunk.
Do you remember? Okay, so it was like
Oh,
four.
yeah. I think I have some of those.
It was 4 cars. Yeah, because I got them for you at that flea market, remember?
Yes.
When I got them for me. There's 4 different cars, and of course they would be like a new one each week at McDonald's. So you'd had to go every week and collect them all. But they flipped, like you could push, like, okay, let's say you had Babs, and it was Babs driving a car or something, and then you would push Babs down, and it would push the other character up on the other side. You could flip it over, and it would be a whole other character in a whole other designed car. So there were 8 characters.
That's like 2 toys.
It's like 2 toys in
2
one.
toys?
2 toys? I know. I love them.
Yeah, they're great. They really are.
I do have the whole collection. I do. And then in 92, they did the Wacky Rollers.
Yeah, I remember those.
And they had a whole set of those as well. And you also had Elmira, of course, and Max were in those as well.
Oh, yeah.
Go-Go Dodo was actually one of the flip cars.
That's right.
Yeah.
Go-Go Dodo.
Go-Go Dodo, yeah. And, the Wacky Rollers, which were just like little cars on wheels, and they kind of all had like...
Oh, now I'm gonna have to dig out my Tiny Toons Happy Meal toys tonight.
They're really cute.
Yeah, gonna have to find
so they
them.
had a couple different runs, and then of course, like anything in the early '90s, there were video games.
Of course. You're damn straight. There's video games.
And how did that start out, Justin? What was the first video game iteration of Tiny Toons?
Which is about as much as high into video games as you ever got, which is Tiger
Correct.
handheld games.
That is correct, yes.
So there were several video games that came out in 1991. The Tiger Electronics handheld game, and they did games up to 2002. Really?
They did.
Wow.
I mean,
Tiny
pretty
Toon
much
Adventures Buster's Bad Dream.
Yeah.
On PlayStation 2. Wow.
Yep, came out in 2002. There was actually another one slated for 2002 that got canceled. But Buster's Bad Dream came out in 2002.
I want to play it.
Isn't that crazy?
I want to play it.
12 years after it aired, and
Yeah.
I mean 9 years after it went off the air, pretty much.
Yeah, gosh.
They were still making
I had no
them.
idea it went that late.
Yeah. So yeah, all kinds of stuff.
So the end of Tiny Toons is about as dramatic as the start of Tiny Toons.
Which is to say, not at all.
Which is to say, not at all, in that they essentially were just like, okay, we've done that show now. We're going to stop production on this, and we're going to start Animaniacs. And
Yeah,
that was
basically.
It was as simple as that. Like,
Yep.
That was it. Like,
Yep.
it
One
did
cannot
great.
exist without the other.
It won awards. For its writing
Yep.
and its animation. It did great ratings. It often beat Disney afternoon shows in a lot of not all the time, but like a lot of cable stations around the country.
And I will say, like, I mean, I have watched Tiny Toons as recent as like last summer. And I remember, watching them again and being really surprised at how, and I think like a lot of things that you you watched as a kid and then you go back and watch as an adult, being surprised at, first of all, how well it holds up, but also like how savagely they are commentating on.
Oh my gosh,
a lot
the
of
writing
things going
is
on
so
at
good.
the time.
The episodes I have watched as an adult left me feeling wow, like the writing is so good that I didn't even understand how good the writing was as a kid.
No, like as a kid, you're just like, oh, it's slapstick and funny, and now, you watch it and you're like, this is good, and I think that's part of why it holds up.
It's just really
very satirical,
very satirical. They go after everybody. They're cracking jokes about themselves, about I mean, it's
any popular culture, any politics,
it's
anything.
it's very smartly written. I feel like
and they did have some. They had a couple of specials.
So in March of 1992, the show is still airing at this point. They're still running new episodes. They do release a direct-to-video feature-length movie called Tiny Toons: How I Spent My Vacation.
Man.
Which then got re-edited and
they
put
it
into the series. They made episodes.
Okay, it's like a couple of episodes.
Yeah, but it was originally a full-length movie that was a direct to VHS.
Oh yeah.
And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's like a summer vacation, how everyone spent their summer, and it's got different segments.
That's cute.
Yeah. There was a Christmas special.
Justin, I don't remember this, and
we
are going to have to watch it this Christmas.
100%.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's done. It's done.
Done.
No, it's a wonderful Tiny Toons Christmas special. Airs in December of 1992. And of course, it's a parody of It's a Wonderful Life.
Sure.
This is really, though, only a Christmas special in name because it's a Christmas episode. But really, it's just a regular episode of the show. So it's
not really Christmassy?
No, it is. No, it is Christmassy. It's just it's not a separate special.
It's not a separate special.
They call it the Tiny Toons Christmas special, but it's just a regular episode.
Okay, I gotcha.
So the last episodes air in December of 1992, the same month as the Christmas special. And then they decide in 1994, let's do some more. Let's do like two primetime specials.
Sure.
So
Garfield style. So they do the first of two Tiny Toons primetime specials. March 27th, 1994. They aired the first one, Tiny Toons Spring Break. Oh, I don't think I've seen that.
I don't know that I've seen that one either. And it did not receive a VHS release, unlike the other one we're getting ready to talk about, which did. And it was actually not re-aired until some channel that I had never even heard of in the States apparently re-aired it in 2014.
Really?
So, yeah, I don't know if it was particularly hard to come by, I guess, but it kind of sounds like it.
Wow.
And that one does feature cameos from Pinky and the Brain and the Animaniacs.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's March 1994. And then flash forward to May 1995 when...
It's a very weird time for this to be airing.
A very weird time to air their Halloween special.
Yeah.
In May of 1995.
Night Ghoulery.
Tiny Toons Night Ghoulery.
Tonight's my night, I'm the pumpkin guy. On All Hallows Eve, I'll fly through the sky. But alas and alack, I'm bored out of my skull. My once favorite holiday has grown so dull. It's tired, trite, and also routine. I crave different thrills on this Halloween. I wonder what hides beyond this door. It just might be what I'm looking for.
We're tiny, we're toony, we're all a little loony, and under a full moony, we're something to be seen. Things could get hairy and just a little scary, so we're saying to be wary on this Halloween. Ghouls, ghosts, and goblins are coming out at night. They'll flex their jaws and show their claws, filling up with fright.
The monsters will find you.
You better look behind you.
It's Tiny Toon Adventures, and it's quite a sight.
The holidays started to bless the dear departed, and now for the faint-hearted, we're telling scary tales.
Our costumes are ready.
I'm dressing up as Freddy.
I'll be J. Paul Getty.
The scary soupy sales.
We'll wear our outfits and knock on neighbors' doors.
We'll trick or treat, and then we'll eat
Candies by the score.
We're fearful, we're frightening. Watch out for that lightning.
It's Tiny Toon Adventures, and it's Halloween.
Now let the show begin.
How long till Mother's Day?
Which
love
is
it.
one of my favorite things in the whole world.
Correct.
It is, of
very
course,
good.
it is a parody of the old television show Night Gallery, which was hosted by Rob Serling, who,
Yes.
of course, did the Twilight Zone. And
Of Twilight Zone fame.
Night Gallery was a great show.
So I love the opening specifically of Night Ghoulery, where it's like the parody of Nightmare Before Christmas
Yes, it's a parody of
with like the different trees
yes,
of like which season or which like holiday to go into.
Oh, it's
Love
it's
it
so
so
good.
much.
Yeah, you've got the whole musical number.
Yeah.
You've got a whole Halloweeny intro.
Yeah,
It's
why
got,
did they air that in May? That's so
I have
strange.
No idea. Well, like, let's do like no one's forcing them to make this.
Right, it's just they're
They
doing
just
it whenever
want
they
to.
want.
They just want to. And
So
so
why?
why are you airing? I don't know. I have no idea. But it's this.
Honestly, makes me a little angry.
It aired in May. Actually, May 28th. So we just had the anniversary of Night Ghoulery.
The
a couple
anniversary?
days ago. The Ghouliversary.
Yeah.
Of course, there's tons of parodies in
Oh,
the
yeah.
segment. It's an hour-long special.
Including some Twilight Zone.
Including some Twilight Zone. Of course, we already mentioned Nightmare Before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Parodies. Casper, Night of the Living Dead, like horror movies, Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Duel, American Werewolf in London. They do Edgar Allan
great.
Poe. They do
Yeah.
Abbott and Costello Meets Frankenstein.
God,
Whole
it's
bunch
really,
of stuff.
It's really
Whole
fun.
bunch of
I
my
have
other
watched
favorite
that.
things.
Yes.
And that's not all, because like everything
all.
else, what is old is new again, and a revival
correct.
series
It's in the works.
entitled Tiny Toons Looniversity was announced in October of 2020. It's going to
One
be
good thing to come out of 2020.
one good thing. It's going to be produced by Cartoon Network and HBO Max. And,
Hell yes, which HBO Max has a ton of Looney Tunes stuff.
yes, they do. HBO
on
Max
there
has
right
a
now.
really great Looney Tunes library.
They do.
Spielberg's back as executive producer.
What else is he doing, right?
Well, nothing. I mean, he
not a lot.
needed the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
Good,
the money was
good for
drying
him
up.
for good on WB for throwing him a bone.
Yeah.
They've already given it a 2-season order,
Yeah.
and it's going to start sometime this year in 2022. So
What a glorious world.
Yeah.
Sometimes things work out.
Sometimes things are okay. Sometimes
Yeah.
you get.
We're gonna have a Universal Monsters theme park and Tiny Toons Looniversity.
and I can just
Sometimes things happen.
lose
for the
myself
best.
in the nostalgia.
Yeah.
All right.
the only way to get
so
through.
I think that before we say goodbye, I think that we should bring back something we haven't done in a long time, actually.
We used to do it. Our intention was to do it at pretty much every episode that we could, and that is the quiz.
The quiz. You have a quiz
Return
for us?
of the quiz.
Return of
Return of the quiz. Oh my God! Return of the quiz. I do have a quiz for us. Obviously, it's which Tiny Toons character
Which
are you?
Tiny Toon Adventures character are you?
Specific.
Say
Yes,
it
I'm so sorry.
correctly.
Tiny
Toons-
Toon Adventures
Tiny Toon
character.
Adventures.
are
Okay,
you?
well let's get started. Oh, this quiz looks amazing.
All right. Do you want to read? Oh, yeah, this is looking great. Do you want to read the first the first one for us?
Sure. Our first question is choose a 90s toy.
Oh my god.
Boy. Okay, so we've got Tamagotchi, Troll Dolls, Creepy Crawlers, Street Sharks, Polly Pocket,
Woo!
Koosh Balls, Moon Shoes, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or Talk Boy.
Justin, that's a real Sophie's choice.
That's a murderer's row of 90s toys, I tell you what. I gotta go with Ninja Turtles because that's the real me. But after that it would be Creepy Crawlers. But I gotta go Ninja Turtles. What are you going with?
I'm going Polly.
You gotta go Polly, right? That's you.
Yeah, Tamagotchi would be my second.
Yeah, there you go.
And probably also followed by Troll Dolls. But Polly Pocket, that's what I'm going with. What's your biggest strength? Creativity, optimism, intelligence, loyalty, leadership, organization.
That's not the fun 90s question I was anticipating for after that first one. I was like, oh, this is like a question I'd do for a job interview. Loyalty, really? I guess.
Yeah,
Now we're back to choose a Looney Tunes character. That was a weird question. I guess I'm getting all the fun ones, though.
I don't know what I'm going to pick for that.
Let's see. Creativity,
yeah, I guess loyalty
optimism,
probably.
I'm going loyalty. You're good at organization.
Okay, yeah, that's true. All right, you get the next one.
Choose a Looney Tunes character. See, I get to do the fun ones.
You do.
Okay, we got your Bugs Bunnies. Mm-hmm. We got your Roadrunner, your Wile E. Coyote.
Your Runners of Roads.
Your Runners of Roads.
Yeah.
Your Sylvester the Cat, Tweety Bird, and your Elmer's Fudd.
Man, not a lot of good characters other than Bugs. I mean, as far as like, they all kind of suck. Like they're all kind of.
They all kind of suck.
Like they're all kind of villains.
I mean, clearly the best one is Bugs.
Yeah.
You gonna go with Bugs?
I'm gonna go Bugs. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Just for the sake of diversity, I'm gonna go Elmer Fudd. Okay. Just to mix things up.
Okay.
Because that'd probably be the second best of those characters for me. Oh.
Choose a season: spring, summer, fall, winter. Clearly, we're both choosing.
I mean, come on. Come on. It's fall. It's gotta
Justin.
be fall. Oh, okay. Oh, this is a good one. Choose a Fox Kids cartoon. Animaniacs. Ooh. X-Men. Beetlejuice. Eek the Cat. Bobby's World. The Tick. Life with Louie. Tom and Jerry Kids. Or Tasmania. Holy shit.
God, what a... Oh.
Another just... Man.
That's...
Just reminding me we need to talk about Fox Kids as a whole.
Yes.
I'm going to go with X-Men.
Do I
want X-Men or Beetlejuice?
Oh.
Shit. Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. What are you going with?
Those are my two as well.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
I'm going to go... I feel like I personally watched X-Men more, so I'm going to click X-Men.
I'll go Beetlejuice then.
Well, you don't have to do it. It's okay.
It's neck and neck.
All right, here's
another weird one. What is this?
Yeah. What's your biggest weakness? Always have
Tell
to
me
be
your
right.
deepest, darkest secret.
Always have to be right, manipulative, scared of conflict, too blunt, take everything personally, or arrogant.
Why? Aren't we doing a fun nostalgia cartoon
I thought
thing
we were.
Here? I thought we were.
Not to BuzzFeed.
I guess I take everything personally because I'm kind of taking the tone of this quiz a little personally.
I'm obviously
so
very
I'll choose that one. I'll choose that one.
Okay. I'm scared of conflict. So.
Okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
What color?
Yeah.
What color do you wear the most? Got black, white, brown, purple, green, blue, pink, red, yellow. I guess
this isn't my favorite color. It's a color you wear the most.
It's a color you wear the most. I guess I probably wear blue the most, maybe.
I definitely wear black the most.
Okay.
All right. Choose another Looney Tunes character.
Oh, okay.
There's some better ones in here. Yep.
Oh, there are better ones. Okay.
Daffy Duck, Marvin the motherfucking Martian. Speedy Gonzales, Pepe Le Pew, and old Foghorn Leghorn.
I say.
I say.
Oh, God.
Ooh.
That's a good one. Porky and Daffy and Foghorn and a sexual harassing skunk.
Anyone who stinks that bad should not be continuously coming on to women. Go take a shower.
I think that's the joke.
Go take a bath.
That he's French. I'm gonna go with Daffy.
Okay.
I like Daffy. He was always kind of second banana, right? Again, he was second banana to Bugs.
Plucky. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going Marvin the Martian.
Do it. Okay. What'd you get?
I'm Babs.
I'm Buster.
Oh my God! Main character energy, Justin.
Air high five and a million
Air high
angels.
fives. Oh man!
All right. Well, that worked out swimmingly.
Oh, the return of the quiz. I didn't get a rug or anything.
Huh?
I didn't get a rug or anything.
Nope.
Let's never forget.
They didn't say that you were like one of the rich kids' factories.
Yeah, really. Mine says I'm funny, hyperactive, and completely loved by everyone. Boy, isn't that true?
I'm a fun-loving mischief maker who's always in the spotlight. I can't think of anything that is less me than that combination of words. But, whatever. I like Tiny Toons.
I love Tiny Toons. I love Babs. It's like pink and purple. I was
and yellow.
Very into that. And yellow, oh,
yeah.
As a kid.
Yeah, and Buster's got the America thing going on. He's red, white, and blue.
Exactly.
It works.
For Memorial Day.
It works.
It works.
It works.
Well, this has been quite the success.
Great
success.
Great success. I stand by it.
You got some stuff you want to plug?
Well, if you want to follow us on social media, which I highly encourage you to do, because we have a lot of fun
over there.
We have a lot of fun hanging out with you guys on Instagram and Twitter. You can find us at Cool Kids Club Pod. You can find us on Facebook just by searching Cool Kids Club Podcast. And if you don't know how you listen to the episode you currently are listening to, you can find us on Spotify and Google and Apple and all that stuff.
All those places.
Yeah.
You can find me personally on Instagram and Twitter at Amy Reads TN, AIMEE. I also have a YouTube channel of the same name, Amy Reads. I guess I'll keep plugging it, even though I'm not really doing it anymore. But there's 5 years of content if you want to go watch any of that. It's where I read books and then I talk about them.
All right. I have another podcast that also haven't done in a while, but is getting ready to come back. It's called Blue Bard Cage.
Return of the Pod.
Return of the Pod. Oh my God. Oh my pod.
Yeah.
Blue Bard Cage, you can find that wherever you found this podcast. We are getting ready to have some new content in the lead up to AEW New Japan show Forbidden Door next month, which we will be going to. So if you are a wrestling fan, check that out.
Yeah.
And as always, thank you to Brian for our banger of a theme song. He sent me
all of our bangers.
All of our bangers. He sent me all kinds of pictures and video from the Weird Al concert he attended the other night. We had another listener, Harold.
Harold.
Also saw Weird Al this weekend and getting rave reviews for his new shows. So I'm super jealous. Yes. And I think I might try to make that happen later this summer when he's back in the region. So
make it happen.
Yeah. I guess that's about it, right?
Yeah. Thank you all so much for listening. I hope that you enjoyed our episode and our stroll down memory lane back to Acme Acres with Tiny Toon Adventures.
So I'll just say stay tiny, stay toony, stay a little loony, but most importantly, Amy,
stay cool.
Just do it.
Just do it. Why do we have to keep telling you?
This is ridiculous.
faculty, we earn our Toon degree. The teaching staff's been getting laughs since 1933. We're tiny, we're toony, we're